Hello, good morning and welcome to my video. Today is my first full day here in Vienna. I've just woken up and now I'm on my way to the hotel's cafeteria for breakfast. It's still early, so the hallway is really quiet. You can hear just a little hum in the background, maybe from the air conditioning or someone moving around upstairs. Honestly, it's a nice way to ease into the day, just me and my thoughts as I head to grab something to eat. This hotel has a pretty standard breakfast setup, but I'm curious to see what they're offering. I always find it interesting to see how breakfast is done in different countries. It's one of those small things that feels familiar but is still unique depending on where you are. I don't have any big plans until later this morning, so it's nice to take things slow and enjoy the moment. After a late arrival last night, I think I need a proper meal to kickstart the day. So let's see what's waiting inside. So I've grabbed my plate and here's what I decided to go with. Some egg, sausage, a crepe, and something that looks like a potato pancake. It's always fun trying these little variations in breakfast when you're traveling. I've just stepped outside and as you can see, it's a bit of rainy morning here in Vienna. The rain isn't heavy but it's enough to make everything feel fresh and alive. Since I arrived late last night, I didn't have the chance to pick up any essentials. Most of the shops were already closed, so I'm heading to a grocery store nearby to stock up for the trip. Vienna is known for its convenience and there's actually a small complex not far from here with a grocery store upstairs and a train station below. So I've made it to the grocery store. It's a small local spot but it feels cozy in a way. Let's take a little stroll and see what they have. One thing I love about visiting grocery store in different countries is how everything feels familiar but slightly different at the same time. For example, I recognize some of the brands here but others are completely new to me. So that's it, and now it's time to head to the hotel and get ready for the day ahead. Hello guys, good day. Today is my second day here in Vienna, so this is the day we will be touring around the city. We will be doing a lot of walk today, so let's go and explore Vienna. Walking through Vienna's streets, it's hard not to notice how beautiful the architecture is. Every building seems to have its own story, with intricate details and these elegant facades that make you feel like you've stepped into a different era. The city has this balance of old and new, Baroque palaces sitting next to sleek modern designs, but somehow it all fits together perfectly. Even in the rain, Vienna feels timeless. On my way to the first stop, I came across the Lower Belvedere. It's part of a larger palace complex built in the Baroque style, and even from the outside, it's stunning. The symmetry, the detailed sculptures, it all feels so regal. I won't be going inside today, but just seeing it like this is a reminder of Vienna's rich history. So we're here at our first stop, which is a monument. According to the text inscribed in the tablet, it's a monument dedicated in honor to the soldiers who fought against fascism. But one thing I'm curious is that the text was written in Russian alphabet, if I'm not mistaken, and looks like it is dedicated to Soviet armies. This is the monument in honor of the soldiers of the Soviet Army. It was built after World War II to commemorate the Soviet troops who helped liberate Vienna in 1945. The design is bold and commanding, with a statue of a soldier at the top holding a Soviet flag. It's hard not to feel the weight of that history when you're standing here surrounded by these towering symbols of the past. In front of the monument, there is a fountain, and according to the text on the floor, that monument was built in 1870s. Just in front of the Soviet Army monument is the Hochstrahlbrunnen fountain. It was built in the late 19th century to celebrate the completion of Vienna's first modern water pipeline. The fountain's design is truly mesmerizing, especially with the way the water shoots up in perfect arcs. At night, the fountain is lit up in vibrant color, making it even more spectacular. It's a centerpiece that adds a touch of elegance to this already historic area. Now I've arrived at St. Charles Church. This Baroque masterpiece was built in the 18th century and is one of Vienna's most iconic landmarks. The first thing that catches your eye is the massive green dome and the two intricately carved columns on the either side that are inspired by the Trajan's column in Rome. Every detail here is incredible. The sculptures, the reliefs on the columns, they all tell stories from the life of St. Charles Borromeo, the church's namesake, who was a key figure during the Counter-Reformation. Today, there's a display of farm animals right in front of the church. It's a bit unexpected but adds a charming contrast to the grandeur of the architecture. A little slice of rural life in the middle of this historic city. So that's our second stop. So it's a church, and in front of the church there is a small Christmas market, and they also put up a small barn with some farm animals. So I think they will, you can go there and play with the farm animals. It's such a beautiful day for a walk despite the rain. I'm really enjoying this walking tour so far. There's something about strolling through Vienna that just feels effortless. The city has this perfect mix of history, culture, and honestly, a lot of charm. Every street seems to offer something new. A little cafe, a gorgeous old building, or a park like the one I just walked through. Vienna really is a city that makes you want to slow down and take it all in. And now, the Vienna State Opera. This is one of the world's most famous opera houses, and I can already see why. The architecture is absolutely stunning, rich, detailed, and a perfect example of Vienna's cultural legacy. Vienna State Opera was built in the mid-19th century, and it's known for its incredible acoustics and stunning architecture. The facade is full of elaborative carvings, and even the statues above the entrance are a testament to the cultural importance of this place. Over the years, it's hosted some of the greatest composers like Mozart and Beethoven, making it a must-see for music lovers. Even if you're not attending a performance, just being here in the heart of Vienna's cultural district is an experience in itself. Next up, the Austrian National Library. This place is an absolute gem. Built in the 18th century, it's not just a library but a piece of history in itself. When you think of libraries, you might imagine rows of books, but this one feels more like a palace. It feels like you're stepping into a different time. Every inch of this place is decorated, and you can't help but be in awe of how well preserved it is. It's not just about reading. It's about experiencing history in this truly magnificent space. If you love history, architecture, or just beautiful spaces, this is definitely a must visit in Vienna. So that's the National Library of Austria. I didn't go inside because there's so many people, but the price is 10 euro per person. Now I've made my way to the Sisi Museum. This place is dedicated to the life of Empress Elizabeth of Austria, or Sisi as she was affectionately known. She's a fascinating figure in Austrian history, and the museum does an incredible job bringing her story to life. The museum's exhibits gives you a glimpse into her complex life, her role as an empress, her struggles with royal life, and her desire for freedom and adventure. There are some truly stunning pieces here, like her elaborate gown and personal belongings. What's really interesting is how much of her personality shines through in these objects. And of course, the museum also touches on her relationship with Emperor Franz I, who was a key part of her life. There's a statue of him here which really gives you a sense of the historical context of her reign. If you're into history or royalty, the Sisi Museum is definitely worth a stop. It's a perfect blend of fascinating stories and beautiful artifacts. Right in front of the Sisi Museum, there's this small archaeological site. It's a bit unexpected, but it's really interesting to see the layers of history right here in the heart of Vienna. These remains date back to Roman times, and you can see fragments of old structure that once made up the area. It's a cool reminder of how much history Vienna has under its feet. Apparently, this building is also part of the Hofburg Palace. Well, actually, I'm not sure if it's really a palace or a complex with collections of buildings or structures. But this facade is really nice. It's really beautiful. Now we've arrived at Hofburg Palace, one of Vienna's most important landmarks. This place was the center of the Habsburg Empire for centuries, and it's absolutely massive. You can really feel the history here as you walk through the grand gates. The architecture is stunning with a mix of Renaissance, Baroque, and Gothic styles. It's the perfect example of how Vienna's imperial past still shapes the city's present. Let's see if we can go inside. The outer gates are imposing and impressive, and they give you a sense of the power that once resided here. Today, the palace is still home to Austria's president. So that's the Hofburg Palace, and right now we're heading to Austria's Parliament building and also Vienna's City Hall. So the sun is now coming out, and look at that. You see the light of the sun, it's reflecting on the building. It's beautiful. We're now heading to one of the largest Christmas markets here in Vienna. But before that, we are here at the outer gate of Hofburg Palace. This gate marks the entrance to the imperial complex and is one of the most iconic features of the palace. It's so imposing standing here because you really get a sense of how powerful this place once was. Vienna's transport system is one of the best I've used. Trams, buses, and the metro all run efficiently and are easy to navigate. It's a great way to get around and see the city, whether you're heading to a museum or just exploring. Now I've arrived at Maria Theresienplatz, where one of Vienna's most famous Christmas markets is set up. It's hard to miss because it's near the Hofburg Palace. This market is a perfect spot to get into the holiday spirit. You can find all sorts of handmade gifts like intricate ornaments, candles, and local treats. It's like stepping into a winter wonderland. And of course, there's no shortage of delicious food. If you're a fan of sweets, you love the honey cakes and strudels. They're a must-try when you're here. And just look at the backdrop. This market is set between the two incredible museums, the Natural History Museum and the Art History Museum. It's the perfect blend of culture and holiday cheer. So that's another Christmas market here in Vienna. So that part is in Maria Theresienplatz. Anyway, so I've been doing a lot of detour in this walking tour. So let's head now to the Parliament of Austria and also to the City Hall of Vienna.